Joe Ferguson, a dramatic home run. Dodgers won Game 1. Game 2, the Dodgers won it. They had to have Game 3 and Ron Cey, another dramatic home run, and the season ended in a tie and forced the playoff. With this out, though, the Houston Astros became the champions. That was last year, 1981. The Astrodome. It's the bottom of the ninth. Alan Ashby, a dramatic home run, and Houston wins the first game. Game 2, extra innings. Denny Walling, the pinch hitter, and Houston wins it 1-0 to lead the series 2-0. And now it moves to Los Angeles. The Dodgers have to win 3 games. Game 1 here in Los Angeles, Steve Garvey, a home run. Dodgers win it. Houston leads the series 2-1. A big game, and Lasorda goes to Fernando Valenzuela. With the help of Guerrero, Dodgers win Game 2 here in Dodger Stadium, and we get ready for the showdown. The series is tied at 2 games apiece. And the pitchers for this big game, Jerry Rice for the Dodgers, Nolan Ryan for the Houston Astros. NBC Sports presents the National League Division Series. Today from Dodger Stadium, the Houston Astros against the Los Angeles Dodgers. The National League Division Series is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer, who invite you to test drive the 1982 Ford cars and trucks. By Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by Old Spice, the man scent so many women love. And by the twin-action Norelco Rotatrack Razor.
To get the official 1981 World Series program, a collector's item commemorating the 78th Fall Classic. Send check or money order for $4 to World Series program, Post Office Box 250, Hicksville, New York 11802. Please make checks payable to World Series program. New York residents must add appropriate sales tax. That's World Series program, Box 250, Hicksville, New York. Allow 8 weeks for delivery. The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
A sellout crowd here in Los Angeles as we get ready for Game 5. Davey Lopes takes the pitch outside. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Lopes. The top half of the first inning, the Astros went down in order, 1-2-3 against Jerry Rice. It is high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. If you're keeping score, Terry Poole flied to left, Gardner lined to right, Tony Scott bounced out third to first. And Davey Lopes is the batter, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Struck him out. And here's the Dodger lineup that Jerry Royce will be facing today. Ryan.
Lopes, Landro, Baker, Garvey, Mundy, Guerrero, Socha, Russell, and Royce. Keep in mind that Nolan Ryan, the man in your picture, has never won a game in Dodger Stadium, his 0-5 career. But he has never been the pitcher as he has been this year. Very consistent.
Landro takes it low, ball 1. Ryan averages 8.8 strikeouts per 9 innings pitched.
He
pitched that no-hitter against the Dodgers on September 26th. 5 no-hitters in his career, the most in the history of baseball. 1 ball and 1 strike. This crowd will be reacting. We'll try to see if we can pick up the grunts of Nolan Ryan as he releases that tremendous fastball, but it'll be difficult. You listen closely, you heard it. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And if you are an aficionado of the radar guns, that was 96 miles per hour. The catcher's was 27. Returned it to the pitcher. He is really grunting, Tone.
Joe, Alan Ashby, Ryan's catcher, was saying one thing he's going to have to do today because of the importance of this game, obviously, there's Ashby, is to not let Ryan go out there and overthrow. If he overthrows, he might lose the strike zone.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. 3-2.
You wonder how long this Astros pitching staff can continually walk out to the mound, almost having to pitch a shutout. 4 games, just 6 runs they've scored. 3 of those in game number 1.
High fly ball. Tony Scott, Poole, little bit of a collision, but Terry Poole makes the play and are 2 away.
The sun field right now is left field. It will shift around as the game progresses and go in the right fielder's eyes.
That was a nice, polite, just how do you do. And Dusty Baker. Baker is 3 for 15 with 1 RBI, a double, hitting at 200 for the series. Curveball is pulled foul, strike 1.
You look at the composite batting averages of these 2 teams, it's about 185. There has not been much hitting.
Against Nolan Ryan, opposing batters hit 187. That was the composite average. In the Astrodome, even less, a 169 average against him. 2 strikes. He's going to send those hitters back to the bench talking about it.
Danny Ozark coaching at third for the Dodgers.
Keep in mind, Jerry Royce had an easy first inning. Off the end of the bat, a ground ball to Garner. He bobbles it.
Well, you wouldn't think a veteran like Bill Garner would have any jitters. Ball gets off the end of his fingers. The Houston Ball Club seems to play brinkmanship every year. There's Ryan, has no chance. Starts walking toward the dugout. Easy play. Phil just booted it.
Just an error, and that brings up Garvey, who has the highest batting average, the most hits, home runs, and RBIs of all the starters in the series, hitting at 333, 5 for 15, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. Ball 1. Dodger Stadium is sold out. There were signs all over the place. They announced it yesterday. They would be sold out. There goes Baker. Didn't mean to swing. Art Howe charges hard. In time, and Garvey is out. So Lasorda started his runner, but Garvey is out. Howe to Walling at the end of a complete inning to score here. Houston nothing, Dodgers nothing. It'll be Art Howe, Cruz, and Walling for the Astros in the second. There's a beautiful shot of the sky, the backdrop here at Dodger Stadium. And those clouds, Tony, a big help, as you well know, for the infielders.
Third baseman, Art.
There's still enough sunlight, Joe, that both pitchers might be a little bit difficult to see. With a white shirt sleeve crowd out behind them, the hitters are going to be looking into those white shirts. could have difficulty picking up the ball.
And there's exactly what Tony's talking about, the backdrop. Jerry Royce, if you were with us in Houston, we had information that he had thrown 27 straight fastballs, a fact that was very difficult for me to buy. I asked Jerry Royce, and he said, nope, that's accurate. In fact, against St. Louis, one time I threw 80 out of 82 pitches were fastballs. And there's another fastball inside. But there is one big, well, the way he explains it, he has a fastball that tails away, one that tails in, and one that rides high.
And if he gets down around the knees, at times it will sink. So you're talking about 4 different pitches. Threw just 6 curveballs the last ball game.
Well hit to right field. Rick Mundy's going back near the warning track. He has room.
You wonder with 3 days rest, how far can Royce go? Valenzuela, as we look at Monday back to the warning track. No sun in his eyes at this point. It will be later.
So there is one out, and here is Jose Cruz. Outside, ball 1. Jerry Royce is kind of contradictory as far as his pitching. He's a power pitcher who throws a lot of ground balls when he has his good stuff. Ball 2. Most power pitchers will strike you out. He used to be that way, and then he fell in love with a slow curveball, got him in trouble, came over here, and they got him throwing low fastballs, and he's been very effective. 3 balls, no strikes. Never too young to enjoy fun at the old ballpark. All right. 3-0 pitch. Jumps on it. It's going to drop for a base hit. You can see the pattern developing. Both managers want to get on the board in a hurry. With Baker on, the sort has started him, and now a 3-ball, no strike count to Jose Cruz. He had the hit sign. He singles to left. So with 1 on, 1 out, here is Walling, who has replaced the injured Cesar Cedeno. And there's a little bit of intrigue with the injury to Cedeno, with the Dodgers trying to find out how badly he's hurt. Well, we welcome those of you who have been watching the New England-New York Jets. The Jets won that game 28-24.
No pitch. Look out.
We are in the top half of the 2nd inning here. There's no score. 1 base hit so far in the game. Cruz just got that. Dodgers had a base runner in their half of the 1st inning when Baker was safe on air by Garner. Here is Walling. He takes it high. Ball 1.
Game 2 at the Dome. Cruz at first base, held by Garvey. Jerry Royce allowed 5 base hits, left with a no decision, but 3 of the 5 base hits were from left-handed hitters. Cruz gets the first one today. His pitching coach, Ron Peranowski, was talking about Royce, saying he has difficulty at times keeping the ball away from left-handed hitters. They pull off the ball, but he rides it inside, and they hit him.
It is high. 2 balls and no strikes. Royce doesn't give up many base on balls. 1.6 per 9 innings. And that's the best on the Los Angeles staff. He's behind Walling now with a count of 2 balls and no strikes. Fouled out of play. Two balls, 1 strike, 1 out. In the 1st inning, Terry Poole flied to left, Garner lined to right, and Tony Scott bounced out 3rd to 1st. Easy inning for Royce. Here in the 2nd, Howe has flied to right, 1 out, and Cruz is just single to left. Dodgers, Lopes was out on strikes. Landreau flied to the right fielder, Poole. Baker was safe on an error by Garner, and Garvey was out. Howe to Walling. So that's the way it's been going so far.
Now, home plate umpire Lee Wire has called timeout. Something in center field that they've gotten straightened away. They've been a banner hanging out there. On the last pitch, Jose Cruz started to break off first, saw he did not have a good jump, and then decided to go back.
High bouncing ball. Davey Lopes to Russell. Drops the ball. Everybody's safe.
So after a relatively played first 4 ball games, Gardner with an air and an easy ground ball. Now Lopes dropped the throw from Russell dropped the throw from Lopes. You'll notice he does not have control of the ball. He had not had it completely out of his glove, so the second base umpire, Jerry Dale, calls the runner safe, and error will be charged to Russell.
So the Astros have base runners at first and second, 1 man out. Dickie Bond. The shortstop is the batter. He is 2 for 7 in the series, a .286 batting average.
This is the way the Astros build what rallies they have. Little leader base hit.
Hit it off his foot. It's a foul ball, strike 1. They'll talk about the Astro rallies. A single, a walk, a pass ball, a hurricane, they got to run. And then they shut you out.
You have 2. Well, the lead runner in this case, Cruz, is a pretty good base stealer. His knee seems to be better after the off-season injury in Puerto Rico. Even when you never know if he's going to try and go.
He's got a good lead at second base. We look at Tommy Lasorda on the Dodger bench. High hopper, Guerrero has it to Lopes, 1, over to first, not in time. It was a slow developing play because you saw the ice cream cone that Guerrero had. He just got it right in the webbing, and Lopes had a little problem getting out of his glove.
And Cruz speed off second base as he gets by Guerrero, avoids the tag. That was the only way he was going to get the double play, by tagging Cruz first. We'll show you Jose Cruz once again. I'll tell you, if he reaches out and makes an attempt to tag Cruz, he might have been called out for going out of the baseline.
Well, he didn't. He wasn't. And it's first and third, 2 outs. And here's Ashby batting right-handed. Guerrero stumbles, comes up with the ball, makes the play. That was not what you would call a picturesque inning for the Dodger defense. But the Astros do not score. We go into the bottom half of the second inning. It's Houston nothing, Dodgers nothing. Joe Garagiola with Tony Kubek here in Dodger Stadium. Game 5, Astros against the Dodgers. Expos and the Phillies are going at it. And we'll be bringing you highlights of that game as we have been bringing you the news and highlights all season long. There's a line score. Third inning, 0-0. Phillies with only 1 base hit. Expos with 2. Rick Monday leads it off. He doesn't get the first pitch, and it's strike 1.
After today, one of these 2 teams will go home for the winter. The other will go on for the National League pennant.
Rick Monday, strike 1. Strike 2. It is amazing with the strike and everything as we look at Bill Burton.
He really had a hassle on a lineup today. He probably mulled over 4 or 5 different lineups. Lasorda has primarily gone with the same kind of team, except already Yeager and Scioscia.
It's really the whole season today for one of these teams. Fastball is inside. Much as it is the same as the Montreal Phillies, and Yankees, Milwaukee, all battling to go ahead. The loser, get the fine-tuning knob set on the TV, because that's what they'll be doing. Big ball game. Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rick Monday against Nolan Ryan.
Ryan, till this point anyway, it is very early in the ballgame, obviously, is not quite as sharp as he was in the Astrodome. Wonder if the dimension of this ballpark, Joe, making him try to pitch a little more carefully, or is he just overthrowing?
I wouldn't think the ballpark would be that big a factor. Out on strikes. He's got to pitch the way Nolan Ryan knows how to pitch.
High rising fastball. You can see Monday swing beneath it. Game number 1 where Ryan was the winning pitcher, struck out 7, walked 1. He retired 16 in a row at one point, allowed just 2 hits.
crowd here watching Guerrero, who's become an instant hero here. He had a big home run yesterday. So far, this crowd just kind of reacting here and there. But with Valenzuela pitching, everything he did, they reacted to it. Outside. 2 balls, no strikes. There were lines very early outside the ballpark today. A sellout. 2-0 pitch. There's a strike. And you could hear that that was a fastball from Nolan Ryan. High. 3-1.
Well, the challenge comes about right now. Nolan Ryan will give him number 1, the fastball. Guerrero's going to be geared for it. Rule tried it last night to Guerrero. Rule said it was a good pitch, but the ball really got out of the ballpark in a hurry.
He walked it. Now they react.
Number 14, catcher, Mike Socha.
Well, they started Dusty Baker with 2 outs in the first. With left-handed hitter Socha, will they start Guerrero off first base? He's got the gap to hit through, but you've got to think of trying to avoid a double play in this situation. Perhaps the plan will be to run a little bit on Ashby.
Ryan averages 4.1 walks per 9 innings. Now facing Socha. It's a strike. Ryan has never pitched a 9-inning game in which he didn't walk anybody. So the base on balls and Nolan Ryan, not strangers. 1 man out. Socha's 1 for 9 in this series. It is high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Ryan somewhat disgusted with himself. He has talked all season long about the consistency of his curveball. That was a curve that he just overthrew, and it just stayed up high.
Ashby took a good look at Bill Verdon. You have to wonder if there is a pitch-out play on. It's high.
There's Pedro Guerrero, who stole just 5 bases during the regular season, taking a peek over his shoulder in case Socha hit the ball. Good throw, might have been close, but off the high Nolan Ryan leg kick. Guerrero had a fairly decent jump. So the plan is, Joe, to run on him apparently. 2 base runners, both have started.
I kind of thought he might pitch out because Guerrero was leaning and Ashby had taken a big long look at Verdon, something he hadn't done up to that point. 2 balls, 1 strike. Socha takes it high, ball 3. Verdon. Socha takes a good look at Danny Ozark. Now Guerrero has called time at second base.
Well, if he slid, if he jammed his shin into the bag, jammed his ankle. There's something they're feeling around on his right knee, Joe. When he slid that come-up slide, he either hit it in the dirt or jammed it against the second base bag.
Doesn't appear to be that serious, but
it's Paul Padilla out in the field. We'll watch right now as Guerrero as he steals off Nolan Ryan. You can see the right knee. There it is. He jammed it right into the second base bag.
he had a tough time just staying on the bag. Watch that right knee. There's where he jams it. And
slid late, didn't he?
Slid late and came in kind of backwards.
He plays so hard. You saw it right then. How hard he slid. Lasorda out.
I'll tell you, it'll take more than that to get him out of the lineup, though. You can bet me. He's waited a long time to play.
He is a very valuable piece of property to this Dodger organization, especially with some of their veteran players getting up in age. like Lopes, Monday, go on and on.
Look at that. San Francisco 24, the Cowboys nothing in the second half. Second quarter, rather. Second half. Second quarter. You must have split season mania, Tony. Guerrero's going to be all right. Lasorda trots off.
What a change in the reception the crowd gave Lasorda, huh? From the first game here to today.
They booed him the first game. Second game, not quite as many. And third game, they're cheering him. Not to say that the victories that the Dodgers had here had anything to do with it.
Certainly not.
3 balls, 1 strike. Ryan with 30 pitches, 15 strikes, 15 have been balls. 1 man out. Socia waiting. Guerrero at second. Hot smash. Knocked down by Walling. Ryan covers in time. Nice play. Guerrero takes third.
Joe, this is such a tough ballpark on a bright sunny afternoon. We talked about the pitchers throwing out of the center field stands, but the infielders are looking at a ball coming out of a lot of white shirts. And they have these lower boxes here where people sit. So you can see how Walling has that head down. It was hit very hard by Socia. Walling knocked him down. He's got to be nervous in his first start of this series. But he does retire 1 man.
Played the ball well. He played it well.
You can see that wire screening there. That is what the infielder is seeing. White shirts and a white screen with a lot of reflection, a lot of glare. You do not get a very good jump in this ballpark.
Bill Russell with 3 base hits and 12 times at bat at .250 average. It is low with ball 1. Russell has driven in 2 runs. Guerrero's at third.
Well, in game 3, Russell got a very important RBI single in the 8th inning. Yesterday, he got a very important RBI single in the 7th inning.
It is a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two men out. No score in this game. We're in the bottom of the second. Outside. 2 balls and a strike.
We'll show you from, well, it would be a left-handed hitter to see Nolan Ryan's fastball on a replay throwing out of the shirts in left center field. Give you a little bit of an idea what a hitter's looking at with a 96, 7-mile-an-hour fastball. There it is. From white to dark. Tough, huh?
High fly ball, left field. Cruz down with the glasses, waiting for it. He makes the catch. So that ends the second inning for the Dodgers. They leave a base runner at the end of 2. It's Houston nothing, Dodgers nothing. And we'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Brought his Dodgers back from the dome. They were down by 2. He was greeted by boos in game 3, but that has changed. We asked him about it.
Well, Tony, I'll tell you something. When I came out and I heard those boos, I knew one thing. There were a lot more cheers than there were boos. And that's the part of the manager's life. When things go wrong on a team, the first one they want to turn to and blame is the manager. But that's part of the job, and they booed some of the greatest players that ever played baseball, and certainly they can boo me if they pay and come to the ballpark. That's part of the game.
Tommy Lasorda. Ryan takes it high, ball 2. It's when he goes home and his wife boos him. That's when it's bad. Lasorda was named the Dodger manager September 29th, 1976. Ryan fouls it off in the stands. 2 balls and a strike.
And which was the policy of the Dodger organization for all managers. They get through the Walt Nelson era. They continue the policy of 1-year contracts, usually sign them after the season is over.
2-1 pitch inside. 3 balls and a strike.
Neither pitcher as sharp, as we look at Bill Burton, as sharp as they were in their first outing. Ryan in game 1 and Royce in game 2.
He walked him. Nolan Ryan draws the base on balls. When Royce faced the Astros in the second game of this series, he walked 2, struck out 3. Gave up 5 hits, no runs, and 9 innings pitched.
I would think from the Dodgers' point of view, they'd like to get 6 or 7 strong innings from Royce, and then the burden will rest on the shoulders of that bullpen. First 2 games were lost out of the bullpen by young Dave Stewart. And then, of course, they sort of put Welch down there, and Howell and Welch have done a good job. So we could see them before this game is over with.
Here's Terry Poole. He flied to left. Out at second base, a beautiful play by Jerry Royce on the bunt play by Terry Poole. Welcome those of you watching the Cincinnati-Baltimore game. Cincinnati winning at 41-19. Here we are in the top half of the 3rd inning. Ryan opened the 3rd inning for Houston with the base on balls, but Terry Poole, trying to sacrifice him, forced him at second base.
And that's the problem you run into when you sacrifice with a pitcher on first base. You make him extend himself a little bit, and ordinarily not being on the bases too often, he doesn't get a good jump, and you all but waste a hitter.
Here's Garner. Garner lined out his first time up. Astros went down in order 1, 2, 3 in the 1st inning. A couple of base runners on in the 2nd, failed to score. Russell had an error in that inning. And here in the 3rd, we've got 1 man out and 1 man on.
This is a good hit-and-run combination. Poole with speed at first, an excellent base runner, Garner at the bat.
Takes it low, ball 1. Dodgers had a base runner in the 1st, Baker, on an error by Garner, and he tried to steal. Garvey bounced out on the pitch he was running. Kind of set the pattern, because in the 2nd inning, Guerrero drew a base on balls and ended up stealing second. But then Socia was out on a fine play by Walling, and Russell flied to left. So both managers trying to get that run on the scoreboard first.
Garner has really struggled, not just through the playoff series, but late in the season he's been a slump.
It is high, 2 balls and no strikes.
Bill Verdon will let Garner put the hit and run on his own, and Poole looked like he had an inkling to go, and then Royce quick pitched. He froze him at first.
2 balls and no strikes. Got to believe that if Verdon is thinking about a play, this would be the pitch to do it right here. Socia says, just give me a chance.
Yeah, this pitcher 2-1 if he throws a strike.
I say now. Gardner is 2 for 16, or last 21 times at bat. Of course, if they break up the infield, it gives him a better chance to get the hit, and they stay away from that double play. There he goes. He drops the ball, and Poole will be down at second base. There was nothing that Socia could do, 2 balls and no strikes. Even if he had an inkling that Poole would be running, he was in the box.
Watch Garner. He wants to go after the pitch, but it's one of those cut fastballs that sails in on him. And when Socia tried to get that momentum going towards second base, the ball pops out. There's the jump Terry Poole had. A little glance back, as we saw earlier in the ball game. In case the ball was hit, he wanted to pick it up.
Foul back by Garner. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. 1 man out. Poole a base runner at second. We're in the 3rd inning. No score here. Tony Scott, the on-deck batter. Ball. Yesterday with Valenzuela pitching, they had 55,983, and this is a sellout. Yesterday was not announced as a sellout. I just wonder what is capacity when they announce sellout, just how many people are in the seats. Two-two pitch. High hopper, Guerrero at third, looks him back, fires to first. A little bit closer than the Dodgers would like to see, but they get him.
Well, there's no question that the defensive play up until this point in this ball game has not been very smooth, with a couple of errors. That ball rolls around in Guerrero's glove just a little bit as he looks Poole back, and then Garvey makes a nice play.
So there are 2 outs. Here's Tony Scott. Poole at second base. It's a strike call.
Joe, that sun has now moved into the eyes of the center fielder in this ballpark. Landreau will have to battle any ball hit a little bit to right center field.
Off the handle, Guerrero waits for the hop. He's got it. The throw is low. Garvey comes up with it. Steve Garvey, watch this throw. Watch Garvey's play.
He's made 2 fine ones in a row. Once play before this, going into the foul territory. This is when he digs on the tough hop. It was not a short hop.
So it ends the 3rd inning. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Houston nothing. The Dodgers nothing. Bottom of the 4th inning. Phillies and the Expos nothing. They've got a battle there. We've got a battle here.
A few decent pitchers going in the series today. Steve Carlton versus Steve Rogers. Ryan versus Royce right here.
One ball and 1 strike. Art Howe at third base plays Royce if he were batting right-handed and was a dead pull hitter. Look how close he is to the bag. So is Cruz in left field. They're very shallow. One ball, 2 strikes. First of all, as you look at the defense, they don't figure Royce to hit Ryan. If he does, he's going to be very, very late. Royce in the other game was a strikeout victim every time he came up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He struck him out. So there's 1 out in the 3rd inning. So right now, let's go to New York and Brian Gumbo for an update.
Well, Joe, as you noted, through 3.5, there's no score in Philadelphia. One surprise starter for Philly is catcher Bob Boone in place of Keith Moreland, and Bob Boone ended it in the top of the 4th by throwing out Jerry White. White trying to steal, but that rally, or what would have been a rally, was cut short. Boone throwing this one to Manny Trio, ending the top of the 4th. Still no score. Joe?
Okay, Brian. We'll be keeping you up to date on all the action. Strike 1 on Davey Lopes.
And Ryan finally got a curveball over, which is the pitch they talk about that has made him the pitcher he has been this year. There it is.
Another one.
He's got hold of it now.
He has had it for Davey Lopes.
They had him on the ropes a couple times in the first 2 innings. He was struggling, but he's found the breaking ball, or appears to have.
2 strikes to count. Davey Lopes, 1 out, nobody on. High, ball 1. Let's pause briefly for our station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WCKT, Miami.
Foul out of play. Ryan, you could see the reaction after he threw that pitch. He was just a little bit better than he wanted it. Because he's ahead of him, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
See a familiar Ryan trait. Walking around the grass, the dirt part of the pitcher's mound.
Outside. You're getting a good look at Ryan with that ball in the mitt like that, and you can see the 2 fingers gripping it, but he really doesn't grip it until he gets it above his head. So if you're going to steal it, you're going to have to steal it up there. You're not going to steal it right here. There's a good shot of it. See the 2 fingers over the ball? Now, right here is where he does it. Hot smash, Garner can't get it. Davey Lopes is on. So that's the first hit off Nolan Ryan, and now will Davey Lopes run? He did run with Negro pitching. Will he run against Nolan Ryan? Dusty Baker did. Guerrero did. You gotta believe that Lopes will.
Well, he'll have the protection of Ken Landreau, a left-handed hitter, or Ashby will have to throw over the top of him. Might get an indication if he's going to run or not as to how big a lead Lopes gets. When he re-injured his hand diving, he got a shorter and shorter lead.
You'd be tempted to pitch out on the very first pitch to see what happens. Listen to the crowd.
Look at it.
It hit the umpire. It hit the umpire.
And Montague really got clipped on the left leg. That throw is nowhere near the bag. We'll see it again. Snap throw from Ryan. He thought Lopes may have been moving. No chance for Walling. Lopes gets deprived of going to second base, and with his speed, possibly third. Nothing an umpire can do. Could not get out of the way.
Landreau flied to right. First time out. There he goes. Slow. He's going to make it.
Good job. What a job that Landreau does. Just putting his bat over the top of the ball to try and freeze Ashby. So the Dodgers keep on running. Here's the Lopes jump.
We welcome those of you who've been watching the Seattle-Houston game won by the Oilers 35-17. The Dodgers had something going with Davey Lopes on at second base. He got the first base hit off Ryan, has just stolen second base. And Landreau is arguing with Wire. 2 balls to count, or rather Ryan.
That's about as emotional as you will see Ryan get. He is so low-key, and even Walling is going to come in now to talk to him. Walling, the first baseman, replacing Cedeno, is going to try and settle Nolan Ryan down. He thought that the home plate umpire missed the pitch. This will show you the importance of this ball game. The Ryan reaction. Where was it?
Strike. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Both ball clubs have had base runners. Houston went down in order in the first. They had 2 base runners in the second, didn't score. Base runners in the third didn't score. Dodgers had Guerrero score his third with 2 outs in the second. Inside. 3-1.
Nice play by Ashby.
Both managers have established that they want to get on the scoreboard first. Verdon punting. Lasorda running. Shortstop, they're going to go to third. Bad throw. He was undecided. Lopes is safe. There goes Landreau to second. He'll make it. Bad play.
Verdon has used 3 shortstop in this series. With 1 out, this is not a smart play. You get the sure out. With Lopes blocking the view of the third baseman, Howe. A good throw would have had him, but there's no sense taking a chance with 1 out. Lopes, very dangerous base running. A ball hit to the left side. Ordinarily, you would say, hold up. Don't get thrown out at third base. Howe makes a good stop. We've seen some very shoddy plays so far in this ball game. Here's Todd again. Howe doesn't stop this ball, Joe. Ryan did not have a chance to get over to back it up. That ball's in the dugout, and Lopes scores.
Dickie Thon was undecided. He threw it flat-footed, which is the reason he threw it low. A bad play on Lopes' part going to third, but it works out for him. His Thon's throw was bad. Here is Dusty Baker. Short pop fly. Dickie Thon says, I'll take it. He does, and gets it back in a hurry. So Baker, with a chance to drive in a run, doesn't do it. There are 2 outs. First base opens. Garvey's up, and the left-hand batter, Monday, is the on-deck batter. What do you do?
Well, you start thinking back right now, the ball that hit the first base umpire, because that turns out to be an awfully big break for the Astros if the Dodgers do not score in this situation. Lopes probably would have been on third. Would have had the infield in. but it didn't happen that way.
2 outs. Up until this game, it has been just about perfect baseball, but anything but flawless baseball today. Ball 1.
Full house announced, but you do see some empty seats.
Ryan off the stretch to keep an eye on Davy Lowe. No score. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. Bouncing ball. Dickey found it short to play it first. In time. Dodgers do not score. So once again, close. But at the end of 3, Houston nothing. Dodgers nothing.
In the bottom of the 4th, the Expos have cut down a would-be Philadelphia run. Gary Matthews on first with 2 out. Manny Trio hits one into the gap in right center. Lee Elia waves Matthews around, but Jerry Manuel's throw to the plate cuts him down. They're in the top of the 5th, no score. Joe?
Okay, Brian, good play. Hit the cutoff man, and Gary Carter made a good catch.
And shades of the League Championship Series last year with Ferraro and Steinbrenner. And Lee Elia was involved in the play, but the Phillies pulled it out last year.
So, here we are in the 4th. Art Howe is ready. No runs, 1 hit, 2 errors for the Astros. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for the Dodgers. It's a strike. Dodgers have left 4 on base. Houston 3. Howe flied to right his first time up. Sent Rick Monday to the warning track. Center field, Landreau battles the sun right there. Had he played perfectly, Howe hit the ball hard. I saw the chart Danny Ozark keeps, and Art Howe, the chart they had against the Dodgers, most of his balls were hit from left center to right about straightaway right field. So they concentrate in that area, and it's paid off for him today so far as Cruz takes a strike. He singled to left his first time up. He has the only Astro hit. One ball, 1 strike, and it's worth mentioning that it was a 3-ball, no strike count that he hit. High chopper, foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on, no score.
A little slow curve from Rice, something he did very little of in the Dome. The man who changed Jerry Royce pitching is not the pitching coach, he's Hall of Famer Sandy Koufax.
Fastball over the outside corner, and Cruz is called out on strikes. That's the first strikeout for Jerry Royce.
Koufax got Royce to forget about throwing those high fastballs, trying to strike guys out. He said if you can get hitters out with strictly a fastball, why use the breaking stuff? Use the curveball for one reason, to show them another pitch and for your off-speed pitch. But don't get hurt by it.
Whitey Ford used to always talk about this. I used to hear him, Tony, say, I'd rather make 3 pitches for 3 outs than 3 pitches for 1 out. Ball 1. Base hit left field. Walling singles to left. He's on at first. As Baker gets that ball in. Second base hit for the Astros. And it brings up the shortstop, Dickie Hahn.
And that strange pattern against Jerry Royce continues. It was that way all year long and again today. And the first game, 3 left-handers got hits in game number 2 off him. 2 left-handers have hits now.
Hahn hit into a force play his first time up. Ball 1. He tried to call time or did something when he was up there. Something's bothering him. Took his bottom hand off the bat. High fly ball. Right field. Monday down with the glasses. He makes the play. You can't take it for granted with the sun here. So that ends the fourth inning for Houston. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Houston, nothing. Dodgers, nothing. At due up, it'll be Rick Monday, Guerrero, and Socia.
Look out, Ford.
Here comes Ford Mustang.
Here comes Ford.
Yes, sir, no, sir, got me on the go, sir, but quitting time's a different situation. I never take dictation. I'm gonna give you 9 to 5. I'm the one who's driving. Every turn I'm taking is a right turn. 'Cause now I'm taking my turn.
Look out, Ford.
Hey, look out.
Here comes Ford.
Ford Mustang, engineered for road and driver. It's one beautiful way to turn high mileage into high excitement.
Look out, Ford.
Hey, look out.
Here comes Ford. Look out, Ford.
Hey, look out.
Here comes Ford. Here comes new. Here comes now. Here comes Ford. Here comes Ford.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Where?
Sears said that it'd solve the muffler in an hour. An hour's up.
Since when does an hour mean 60 minutes?
Confidence, Karen. Confidence.
Now Sears will install the Muzzler muffler for $24.99 within 60 minutes of your authorization, or the Muzzler labor charge is free.
Ah, Mr. Carlson. 60 minutes on the nose.
Well, I never doubted it for a second.
For great value and fast service, you can count on Sears.
This is Brian Gumble in New York. At Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, the Expos have jumped out in front of the Phillies. Steve Rogers delivering a bases-loaded single. 2 runs come home, but Carlton has worked out of trouble. Expos lead at 2-0 heading for the bottom of 5. Joe?
Okay, Bryant, there you are. We'll be keeping you posted right up to the minute. Rogers helping his own cause Monday against Ryan. And if this is a fastball, you're liable to see a pretty good cut. Monday was out on strikes his first time up. He fouls it off, strike 1.
Joe, neither pitcher has been sharp to this point today. The only other time where a starting pitcher struggled and didn't come out really throwing his best stuff was in Game 2 when Joe Niekro, the knuckleballer, had problems. Ball game, the Dodgers stranded 13.
And as we look at Nolan Ryan, his fastball, that last pitch, 95 miles per hour. Tries to bunt right at Art Howe. Barehanded, throw in time.
Pretty brave play by Howe, one-handing it. He did diagnose the bunt very quickly, though, because he was up way in front of the third base bag. With all the spin this ball had on it, again, an unusual hop on grass that he would not get an artificial surface. The ball could have spun away very easily, but he did make a nice play. That's something that Schmidt does so often, does so well. Charging on the run and barehanding it.
Here is Guerrero with 1 out. Nolan Ryan has allowed only 3 hits to the Dodgers in his last 21 innings, and there's a curveball strike. Curveball, and it's strike 2. It was the curveball that had Guerrero backing out of the box in the Astrodome. Ryan has struck out 3.
Guerrero hit some balls pretty hard in the dome off Nolan Ryan. Thought he might have had a couple of home runs. See that baby drop off the table.
He went around, says Lee Wire, and there's 4 strikeouts for Nolan Ryan. 2nd out here in the bottom of the 4th.
There's something that I didn't realize, Joe, in the Astrodome in Game 1, and Ashby was telling me, we didn't sense it up here. Nolan Ryan actually threw 3 straight change of paces. All 3 bounced in the dirt. And Ashby said he might use it a little more today. He said, but first of all, we've got to establish the fastball and the curve.
Well, I'll tell you, he better not get beat with the change of pace, or Bill Verdon will really have something to talk about. Here's Socia. It's a strike. Getting his breaking ball over.
It has been slow coming, though.
2-0. Expos over the Phillies. 5th inning. Rogers, bases loaded single. Driving in 2. It's low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That may have been a straight change. First one he's thrown.
Wonder what his change is, about 70 miles an hour? One ball and 2 strikes on Socia. Bottom of the 4th. Nothing. Ryan against Royce.
Ryan third on the career all-time strikeout list, and Walter Johnson and Gaylord Perry.
Popped up, foul territory. Art Howe makes the play. It's 1-2-3 for the Dodgers in the 4th, so we complete 4 innings of baseball here. The score, Houston nothing, the Dodgers nothing. And we'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Our statistician Steve Dans, as we go to the 5th here in Dodger Stadium. Bert Hooton, who's hoping he'll get a chance to pitch in the League Championship Series. This decisive game for the Western Division. Some felt, sure Cincinnati fans watching this ball game felt that their team should have been here and not the Dodgers nor the Houston Astros, as Cincinnati finished with the best overall record in baseball. No score in the ball game. Astros with 2 base hits. They've committed 2 errors. Dodgers with 1 hit off Ryan. They've committed 1 error. Ashby, Ryan, Poole facing Jerry Royce. First pitch. Popped up, short left field. Baker and Russell. Baker yells him off. 1 out.
Pitcher, Nolan Ryan.
Dusty Baker, before the ball game, was talking about being right on every pitch. He felt this will be his day to explode. He's a very optimistic man. He said in the Astrodome against Nolan Ryan, he was ahead of a lot of Ryan's fastball, which is unusual. Ryan will step in now with 1 down. He walked in the 3rd inning. Poole tried to sacrifice in the 2nd, but they forced Ryan at second base. Fouled off by Nolan Ryan. 1 strike to count with 1 out. No score in the ball game. Montreal and the Phillies involved in Game 5 now. Yankees meet Milwaukee for Game 5 today. Fouled out of play again by Ryan. 2 strikes. Pitching matchup will be Guidry against Moose Haas. Yankees against Milwaukee. Bill Verdon, who played on the World Championship team with the Pittsburgh Pirates. 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Base hit for Nolan Ryan on a 1 ball, 2 strike pitch.
Jerry Poole, right field.
That'll bring up Terry Poole, who flied to left field and forced Ryan on a sacrifice attempt. 1 out. There's 4 hits in the ball game. Astros have 3. Each team through 4 innings has stranded 4 base runners. One ball to Terry Poole.
Tony, I see Garvey has picked up a couple steps with Ryan on at first. He's playing behind him. Doesn't want Poole to pull that ball between him and the second baseman.
Popped up right side, foul territory. Garvey lost the ball. Lopes is having trouble. He doesn't get it. Garvey looked up into the sun, lost it. Lopes came to his rescue, had a long run, and it went off the edge of his glove. Should be error number 4. See what the official score decides.
Watch Garvey now. He sees the ball, and now he loses it right here, and he says, I don't have it, you get it. And Lopes gives it a chase, thought he had it, but it was tough. Not only was it the sun, but it was the downdraft. There's Garvey losing it right there. He did the only thing he could do is say, I just don't see it.
Well, they have not charged Lopes with air. It was a difficult play, but it did hit his glove. Count will go 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out. Poole fouls this off out of play. 1-2.
Tony, if nothing else, you call it what you want. These guys just don't run on batteries, and it may be a case of jitters, not particularly on his play, as we look at Lopes, who had to make a long run, but it has not been a well-played game.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Terry Poole popped up left side. Russell will yell Guerrero off. 2 outs. Well, Baker hit an easy hopper in the first inning to Garner. He booted it.
Garner, second base.
Wally hit a ground ball. Lopes flipped the ball for a force out. Russell dropped the ball. Landreau hit a ground ball to the shortstop. Dickie Thon flipped the bad throw. He got an error. But these pitchers, even though they don't have good stuff, keep pitching out of it. Phil Garner, line to right field, grounded out. Ryan's at first. Pulled foul, 1 strike. I would think after a 5-game series like this, there is Scott, the on-deck hitter, going into the league championship series, there might be some tired starting pitchers' arms. And then if they have to go on to a World Series, and that gets pushed to 7 games, you might finally see some hitting. 1-1 pitch with 2 outs. Popped up by Phil Garner. So Royce, a tough play again with that sun, but Landreau gets it. Bottom of the 5th, no score. Right now, good catch to Brian Gumbel in New York.
Okay, Tony, we're seeing some pretty good defense out in Philadelphia. Here's how the Expos closed out the bottom of the 5th. Steve Carlton slices it to left, and Jerry White comes up with a great catch. In the top of the 6th, it was George Vukovic who came down with a great catch. Still 2-0 Expos in the top of the 6th. We'll be back after a commercial break.
Bottom of the 5th here in Dodger Stadium. Ryan will face Russell, Royce, and Lopes. Dodgers have had men on base against Nolan Ryan in 3 of the 4 innings. 2nd inning, Guerrero walked, stole second base, got as far as 3rd. Just 1 out. 3rd inning, after a strikeout, Lopes single, stole 2nd. Got the 3rd on an error by the shortstop Thon. Russell jumps on the first pitch. Jose Cruz in left field. 1 out. Well, Sandy Koufax has been around the ballpark. And Koufax, who's tied at 4 no-hitters with him, talked about Nolan Ryan.
I think right now he's as good a pitcher, or maybe a better pitcher than he's ever been. Nolan's making good pitches. He said he was worried because he thought he was getting a little older and didn't really feel like he had it in the last few innings, but I think now he's making good pitches, so he doesn't throw as many pitches during the ball game, and I think that's going to keep him stronger. And you know, it's just fun to see a guy with that kind of stuff, you know, become as good a pitcher as he is now. I'm just surprised that the 5th one didn't come sooner. The way he can throw when he was stuck on 4 for 4 or 5 years, that's really a surprise.
Hall of Famer Sandy Koufax, who threw 20 minutes of batting practice yesterday, the first time since June. He said, I felt good. He tried to throw it again. He threw 15 minutes. He said, I guess I'm getting old. There he is, next to Ron Peronowski, his former teammate. 2 strikes to count on Royce. With 1 out, no score in the game. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Tony, if you're wondering, Ryan has made 69 pitches. 40 have been for strikes.
He has struck out 4, walked 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. A series that has been dominated by pitching. Ryan gets Royce, 2 outs. Right now, we're going to go to New York for an update from Brian Gumbel.
Davey.
Okay, Tony, the Expos have added a run in their half of the sixth. Steve Carlton dealing to Larry Parrish. Andre Dawson gets a good jump off first. Lonnie Smith plays the ball off the wall well in right center, but Dawson wheeling around third. Relay to the plate is too late to get Dawson. Throw back to third gets Parrish, but the Expos lead 3-0. Tony?
Thank you, Brian. Back here in Dodger Stadium. No score in the ball game. We have 2 outs. Davey Lopes, who struck out, leading off for the Dodgers in the first. Single, stole second base. Was stranded in third base. 1 strike. Normally, Joe, when you go up against a pitcher like Nolan Ryan, you try and cut down your swing. I've got to believe that with that background, they're feeling for the ball even more, these hitters. 2 strikes on Lopes.
That's why I almost had to laugh when I talked about pitching him during the twilight. When Ryan has got his good stuff, you could pitch him at midnight, middle of the day, morning. He's going to be tough.
But he's been struggling a little bit, or he was early. Curveball just got a piece of my Lopes. Bill Verdon. With that background and this bright sun, he may have been getting away with a few bad pitches in this game. He hasn't been particularly sharp. One of the few times we've seen him this year, we've seen him about 4 or 5 times.
He's been in command, though, Tony. He struck out 5. What's got him in trouble, they haven't been able to get the base runners.
One ball, 2 strikes. Davey Lopes. And I think an indication of Ryan that he does not have as good a stuff as he did in the Dome. The fact that he's taken more time. He wasn't walking around the mound like that in the Astrodome. 1-2. He got him. Fastball right on the corner. Strikeout number 6 for Nolan Ryan after 5 here in Dodger Stadium. The Astros nothing, the Dodgers nothing. 2 up. Tony Scott, Art Howe, and Jose Cruz for the Astros. Next Sunday, join host Brian Gumbel for NFL 81. All the highlights, scores, and late-breaking news from all the games. Then regional NFL action, featuring a very important game in the AFC Central. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals square off. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. That's next Sunday on NFL 81, starting off with Brian Gumbel. We're in the 6th. Game 5, that man, along with Pedro Guerrero, that is Fernando Valenzuela, got the Dodgers to game number 5. Yes, you are going to be a Dodger fan, whether you like it or not, son.
Kid had a haircut like mine.
No score in the ball game, 6th inning. It'll be Scott facing Jerry Royce. Astros have stranded 5 base runners. The Dodgers 4. 3 errors in the ball game. 1 ball from Jerry Royce. And as this game moves along, that errant pickoff attempt by Nolan Ryan that hit the first base umpire, which may have allowed Lopes to go to third, where he might have scored. A lot of big mights and ifs and buts. Royce goes 2-0. Royce has not been particularly sharp. He's pitched out of a couple of jams. He goes 3-0 to Scott, who was a good base stealer. Sandy Koufax, you've heard from him today. There's Lassard and Peranowski, Monty Basler with the glasses. Scott is on 4 straight pitches. Well, Koufax talked about Jerry Royce to us before the ball game and what specifically he did to help Royce in this pitching style.
Well, Tony, what I told Jerry, I don't think is as important as what Jerry's done. Jerry and I had a talk, but Jerry's gone out there and he's been all by himself on the mound. I had really very little to do with what he's done on the mound. He's worked very hard and he's made himself quite a pitcher.
That was a very modest answer, because when you go to Royce, you'll say, Koufax made me the consistent winner that I am now. By saying, don't be a strikeout pitcher. Don't be ashamed to take a ground ball. Scott, with not a very big lead, but he's off and running. Here comes the throw. He is out. Royce unloaded the ball in a hurry. He was catching catcher, Sosha, and he fired a bullet.
Sosha had a great ball to handle, and he really got into that throw. Scott is off and running. You see the jump. He's looking back to see it looked like that quite possibly could have been a hit-and-run play. But the throw was not even, I mean, it was right there. It's not even close when Russell gets it.
Joe, he's looking for help from his hitter, Art Howe, and Art Howe doesn't even swing the bat. If he swings the bat, it may freeze Sosha a little bit longer where he can't get a good throw off. 2 balls and no strikes.
I've always felt when that runner going from first to second looks back, it's because it's a hit-and-run play. If it's a straight steal, he's looking for the bag, and that had to be a missed sign. Of course, you won't know until you ask about it, but just letting Sosha have that nice highway to throw down without any interference. You'd be surprised how much of a distraction a bat can be when they wave it right about at eye level.
We saw it earlier in this series where when Cedeno swung and actually bumped into Sosha, disrupted his throw just a little bit on the follow-through. 2-0. Howe gets a base hit to right field.
Jose Cruz, left field.
So here's the steal again. Now Howe just keeps the bat there, and there's nothing to obstruct or even to deflect anything that Sosha wants to do except throw it, and he really got into it. And Scott is a dead duck. He's out easily.
Howe has hit the ball well 3 times. He lined to right, he lined to center, and he finally gets a base hit out of it. Now it'll be Jose Cruz who has singled and is called out on strikes. No score. Astros with 4 hits. The Dodgers just 1. 1 strike. Left on base. Houston 5, LA 4 today for the series. A lot of runners stranded. A lot of those came to the Dodgers in game number 2. Cruz popped this out of play. No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Art Howe is down at first base for the Houston Astros. Garvey holding him close. It's not been a whole lot till this point to turn this Dodger crowd on, as there was last night with Valenzuela and Guerrero. 2 strikes. No score in the game. In the top of the 6th. 1-2. Lacerda, who saw his team struggle mostly since Ron Say was injured going into the series. 9-19 with Say out of the lineup. Royce just missed. The appeal goes down to the third base umpire, Jim Quick. He says, it's 2-2. 1 out. Possibility. Base runner could get started. Howe is not a base stealer. He does have a bad leg. He might move an infielder. He's not going. 3-2 with 1 out.
Here's your decision now. What do? Do you run him?
The Dodger bullpen has begun to throw. Royce has not had his best stuff. Well, you see for yourself on this split screen if Howe is going on 3-2 and 1 out.
Talk about big pitches. Here's one of them. Could be strike him out and throw him out if he's going. Burton has to make a decision.
He's off. Foul 4. Runners on first and second. Dodger bullpen. Right-hander Bobby Welch. Left-hander Terry Forstner. As the pitching coach, Ron Peranowski, will make a trip to the mound. Denny Walling, who's been on base twice in air and a single in left field, will face Royce. It's maybe one of those with Peranowski. Are you tired? He got a no decision in game number 2.
Tony, that could be a tip-off because he only averages 1.6 walks per 9 innings. He's walked 2 in this inning. That's the 3rd walk he's given up in this game. So they have to watch him. And this being this deciding game, even closer than normal.
first baseman.
1 out. Top of the 6th. No score. Royce facing Walling. Man who got the dramatic pinch hit in game number 2. The Astros on 1 strike. One strike. Tom Lasorda. First 2 ball games, Lasorda lost games out of the bullpen with young Dave Stewart. Then he moved Welch down there. He's got 1 good outing from Welch. 2 balls and 1 strike to Walling. Walling's sitting on a fastball right here as we look at Howe down at second base. 2-1. Popped him up, foul territory. Scioscia. 2 out.
A good pitch by Jerry Royce. Fastball, he got it inside, and he just popped it straight up, and a picture book play by Scioscia.
It was one of those pitches, Joe, that with Royce cutting that fastball to make it look like a slider, Walling is almost looking out over the plate, expecting the ball to sail away. This one tails in, and he hit him on the fist.
I love to see the catcher hold that mask until he makes sure of where the ball is and then flip it in the opposite direction. It's practice, it's discipline. It's a good lesson for the young catcher.
So far, the Astros have stranded 5 base runners. There are 2 more sitting right now. Foul out of play by Dickie Thon. He's grounded out and fly to right.
In this inning, Royce has made 19 pitches. 13 of them have been balls.
Well, the last fastball that Royce threw to Dickie Thon was 87 miles an hour. One strike. Should be easy. Russell, 2 hops, shuffle the Lopes. So, the Astros strand 2 more. They have left 7 on base through their 6. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th here at Dodger Stadium. No score in the ball game. It'll be Landreau, Baker, and Garvey for the Dodgers.
Don Sutton, who had the operation, is in the hospital recuperating. There you see him on our screen, and Tony Kubek has him on the phone.
All right, Don, we're going to the bottom of the 6th. Landreau, Baker, Garvey, as the fans are starting to get in this ball game. First of all, I think the fans want to know what your condition is. How did the surgery go?
Tony, the surgery went very well. Dr. Frank Job placed 2 screws in my kneecap, and he has it pulled back together, and he doesn't anticipate any further problems if I'll go along with his plan.
You hang in there while we do a little play-by-play. We'll shoot some things at you as we go along, Don.
All right, I'm ready.
No score in the ball game. Landreau against Nolan Ryan. Takes a bunt. Howe comes in. 1 ball. Don, which of the games, had you been healthy, would you have pitched in this series?
I think I would have opened at Dodger Stadium. I think that they had already planned to pitch Nolan and Negro in the Astrodome, and then I would have come back at Dodger Stadium.
1 ball, 1 strike to Ken Landreau. I think Denny Walling paid about as good a compliment to you as anybody when I asked him who has the edge in the pitching department. He said, well, we did. But we lost it when we lost Sutton.
That's a pretty good compliment. I thank you.
Bunt attempt fouled off by Landreau. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think this is a key inning for Nolan, Tony. When you have Landreau, Baker, and Garvey up, if you can keep them from mounting any kind of rally right here, you're going to look at the bottom end of the lineup for the next 2 innings. And I think this is a key inning for Nolan.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Too high. Don, we appreciated the chance to chat with you. We wish we could go longer, but we're going to go back to the ball game. Good luck in your rehabilitation to you.
All right, everything is going to be okay, and I thank you guys for continually checking on me, and for so many people who've called and written. They'll never know how much I appreciate it.
Don, I think your fans, and especially the Astro fans, miss you as much as we do. Thank you so much.
Okay, my friend.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball, center field. Tony Scott. 1 out. Now it'll be Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker. Do some stats. It's the 1981 season. No score. Ryan has allowed the Dodgers just 1 base hit. His defense has gotten him in trouble with a couple of errors.
Dusty Baker with a count of strike 1 on with Nolan Ryan. 1 man out. Bottom of the 6th inning, no score here. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One ball, 1 strike with 1 out. Good curveball from Ryan. Count goes 1-2. The Dodgers have stranded 4 through 5 innings. Astros have had more opportunities versus Royce. They have stranded 7. Whether the Dodgers have had somebody on, they've hit and ran, they've stolen 2 bases. Fastball, foul out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. No score in the game. Curveball misses. Count goes 2-2. Joe, I found it strange, and I think Dusty Baker did too, and maybe you will, that he has continually been ahead as far as getting out in front, even on the Nolan Ryan fastball. He said, I can't believe I'm too quick for this guy. Breaking ball misses. 3-2 to Baker.
He's doing a good job of guessing, I guess, because I don't see how you could be ahead either.
3-2, 1 out. Fastball. He was right on it, but he fouled it back. We've had Ryan in our ball game today up to 96 miles per hour. That no-hitter we televised from the Astrodome. He threw a pitch that went 98 miles an hour, and over 9 innings, he averaged 95. Fastball popped to the right side. Walling gives way, lost to the sun again. Garner can't get it. So both clubs have had trouble in that area. That sun in a very high sky, and there is a slight breeze that is swirling here in Chavez Ravine.
It's amazing to watch both players look at Walling in the very same spot that Garvey said, I don't see it. He said it, and the second baseman tries to make the play. Again, Lopes couldn't make it, and Garner can't make it here. All pointing means that it's up there, which Garner knows when he starts out.
What it means to a pitcher is, with the 3 errors in this ball game and 2 pop-ups for infielders have had trouble with, he's got to reach back and get that extra pitch time and time again. He loses Baker. Two bases on balls allowed by Nolan Ryan. Now it'll be Steve Garvey, who is grounded to third and grounded to short. In the first inning, with Baker on after the air, he and Garvey hit and ran. Garvey grounded out. Second inning, Guerrero walked. He stole second base. Third inning, Lopes stole second base after a single. So they are trying to run on Nolan Ryan. Trying to run on the arm of Ashby. 1 out, no score. Nice stop by Ashby, ball 1. While we have this opportunity, we're going to pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is WNBC-TV, New York.
Back in Dodger Stadium, no runs scored, 2 errors for the Astros. Dodgers, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error. 1 ball, no strike count on Garvey with Baker on first and 1 out. Good curveball. Well, you heard in the first game played in Dodger Stadium when Garvey referred to this Dodger crowd as the 10th man on the field, and they are starting to come into play just a little. Look out. 2-1. Ryan trying to get a little extra on a fastball, comes high and tight. 2-1, 1 out. Will Baker be running? Baker being held by Walling. He's going. Fouled off by Garvey. 2-2.
Someday, I'm going to keep that statistic. I keep threatening it on 2 balls and 1 strike. And the pattern goes, they'll run on 2 balls and 1 strike, not run 2 and 2.
Well, let's see what Lasorda decides. Will he start? Baker, a 2-2 count, 1 out, no score. Garvey does not strike out very often. He's not going. Curveball, foul.
And I'd be willing to bet if he goes to 3 and 2, he will go. I don't know why the pattern is like that.
I would not eliminate this pitch completely, 2 and 2.
I wouldn't take it for granted.
It's a guessing game. No, you can't.
But I say he's not going.
Well, the obvious game plan, if there is such a thing in baseball, that the Dodgers have had, they've run every chance they've had or tried to against Ashby. Ryan thinking it over. How long can this Astros staff go? Trying to pitch shutouts. Not getting any help from their offense. 2 and 2. You see something there? You think he might have been going? Leading.
I think he was going.
Dodgers have just 1 base hit. That was by Lopes in the 3rd inning. Single that just got by Garner.
You see the experience in Ryan. He's just kind of breaking the whole mood here.
He's trying to make Garvey wait.
There he is.
Trying to get him to 10 up. 2 and 2. Baker's going. Fouled up. Garvey, who crushed the ball. There is Burton. Garvey crushed the ball in game number 1. A home run off Nolan Ryan. The other Dodgers kept hitting him to the warning track. Guerrero, Socia. Garvey really muscled one out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Baker's going again. Breaking ball. Base hit. Baker may try for 3rd. He's going to make it standing up. 1st and 3rd. 1 out for the Dodgers. Howe, the third baseman, and found the shortstop. No score in the ball game, bottom of the sixth. Nolan Ryan will face Rick Monday, where a sacrifice fly could score, or would score, Dusty Baker. Pretty good piece of hitting by Garvey, 2-2, and he took a pretty good breaking pitch and stayed with it. Popped up foul territory, might be a chance. He's going to go into the stands out of play. One strike.
If there was ever a time in the ball game that he has to really rear up and play good old country hardball, it's right now. Because he has one thing in mind, and that's strikeout.
He has 6 in this ball game. Rick Monday, a strikeout victim in the second inning. Then he tried to beat out a bunt, was thrown out by Art Howe, the third baseman. 1 strike, 1 out. First and third for the Dodgers, no score. Howe yelling in to Ryan, watch a bunt, you never know. Ashby looking into Burden. There's a lot going on in the field right now, aside from Ryan facing Monday. Fouled off, out of play. Ryan jumps ahead, 0-2.
And that base hit by Garvey, Tony, it was like somebody put the plug in for the fans. The electricity is just all over this ballpark now.
There have been just 2 base hits. Both ground balls that got through the Astros infield. Two strikes to Monday. One ball, 2 strikes. There's 1 out. Dodgers have runners on first and third. Both teams have had opportunities. Stranded base runners. Base hit by Monday. Baker will score. Garvey will hold at second. 1-0 Dodgers. This inning started when Landreau tried to center. Now it's Pete Guerrero with 1 out. Runners on first and second. Curveball pulled foul. After Landreau flied to center, Baker walked. Garvey and Baker hit and ran first and third. Monday, RBI single to right field. Bottom of the sixth, 1-0 Dodgers. Guerrero has walked and struck out.
His managers keep charts and they keep all kinds of numbers, and Rick Monday has been starting for the Dodgers. He's been hot. The last 20 games, 6 home runs and 13 runs batted in, and he got a big one for the Dodgers just a moment ago.
Popped up, short center field. Garner goes back. 2 outs.
The little things that mean so much. The base on balls to Baker, but with Baker running on the pitch and Garvey hitting the ground ball sends him to third.
This Astro team, to the first 4 games of the championship series for the Western Division National League, have scored just 6 runs, as we told you earlier. 3 of those came in game number 1. And Royce pitched so brilliantly in game 2. Will take the mound for the 7th inning. But Tom Lasorda will have his bullpen going.
When you talk
on that, he has struggled.
You talk about emotions, just think on Tuesday, somebody's going to have to play.
2 outs. Socia. Base hit. Garvey's going to come out home. 2-0 Dodgers. Base hit by Mike Socia with an important insurance run. This Astros team has difficulty coming back. Now it's Russell. First and second. 1 ball. You get that insurance run, you take away a possible hit and run, a possible bunt from the Astros. Puts them in even a deeper hole. They have had difficulty scoring runs for Bill Verdon. 1 ball, no strikes to Russell. Goes 2-0. Dodgers 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. Astros no runs, 4 hits, 2 errors. Steve Garvey, who singled through the left side of the infield as Baker was on the move in a hit and run. Set up the inning. Ball 3. I'll tell you right now, 2 outs. You wonder if Lasorda will let Russell jump on this pitch. 3-0. He did. Chop. Foul ball.
Interestingly enough, too, Tony, pitcher spot is batting second, and there's no one up in the bullpen for the Houston Astros, although they're starting to stir a little bit now.
Well, that's one of the reasons right there where that man Lasorda let Russell swing away. You would think, well, why do it with your pitcher? You lead off the next inning. But Lasorda's probably thinking the way Royce has struggled, he's going to set him out for this inning. He may not be around for the next inning anyway to bat. And let Russell drive him home. 3-1, 2 outs. 2 men out for the Dodgers there, but 2-0 lead. Russell chops it. Could be a tough play for Howe. Off balance throw. He doesn't get him. Ball knocked out by Russell. Another run will score. Monday touches home plate. 3-0. Russell knocked the ball out of first baseman Dennis Walling's hand. Sending out Bill Buehler, the chief Dodger trainer, to see if Don Kiger, the Astro trainer, needs any help or any equipment. No, yeah, he's all going over there to see if Russell's hurt. Russell, in trying to beat that ball out, we told you about Russell. He's going to require surgery in 2 different places after the season. One on his foot, where he's had a cracked bone, and one on his finger to take a little plastic plate out. So Don Kiger will leave as he sees that Walling is all right, and Bill Buehler will leave also.
The throw by Howe is into the base runner. Watch Walling. And there's where he got it. You could see grabbing his arm, and that allowed the run to score.
Well, this infield on grass where the ball takes a few funny hops. I don't know if the ball hit that arm or the base runner. In the World Series, Joe Pepitone lost the ball in the 9th inning. Yankee-Dodgers series from Tweet Boyer. Difficult to see out of those white shirts. 3-0 Dodgers. 3rd error charged to the Astros. Dodgers are runners on 1st and 3rd with Royce facing Ryan. Fouled off by Nolan Ryan. We'll see if this ball hits him on the wrist. I still can't tell if the ball hit him on the wrist or if it was the base runner Russell. I think it was the ball.
I couldn't tell, Tony.
1 strike with 2 outs. 2 strikes to Jerry Royce. Well, they've charged an error to the Astros, and we haven't gotten officially. There's Socha on third base, a key 2-out RBI and Russell at first. Give an error to the first baseman. Royce goes down looking. Strikeout number 7 for Nolan Ryan, but the Dodgers hit the Astros with 3 runs. We'll go to the 7th here at Dodger Stadium. All-important game number 5. Dodgers leading 3-0. And we'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Sellout crowd here at Dodger Stadium announced at 55,979. Last night, without much fanfare, they had 55,983.
So they break a record of sorts. Last night was the largest crowd, aside from the World Series crowd, in Dodger Stadium history.
Dave Smith is a new pitcher. There's 4 guys that stayed home today that were here last night, though. Smith in this series, he's pitched 2 innings. He has allowed 1 hit. This is a guy left over from an old Tarzan movie. On a scale of 10, he's about a 15. Ball 1. He's a big Dodger fan, that guy. He's at the ballpark all the time. Walks around in that leopard skin suit. Davey Lopes takes a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dave Smith replacing Nolan Ryan. Can't fault these Astro pitchers. They have done the job. That's fouled out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, the Astros made Nolan Ryan throw a bunch of extra pitches. He had 3 errors behind him.
The roar you hear is for a catch by a fan. But the guy next to him thought he caught it, and there was a little tug-of-war. 1-2 pitch. 2-2. Outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Davey Lopes. Dave Smith in relief.
Part of the difference in this ballgame for the Dodgers is the fact that they've been much more aggressive when they've been on base than any other ballgame. They've run. They've hit and ran twice.
Struck him out. Foul tip held on to by the catcher Ashby, so Lopes is out. And the batter is Ken Landreau. Three to nothing. 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Dodgers. No runs, 4 hits, and 3 errors for the Astros. Landreau, he flied to right, safe on an error, and flied to center. Ball 1. Landreau in the 6th flied out, and then Baker walked on a hit-run play. Garvey single to left. Monday single to drive in a run. Guerrero popped up. Socha single to drive in another run. And then on a ball hit by Russell, Walling got an error, and the 3rd run scored. Down the right field line, it is a foul ball. We welcome those fans who have been watching the Montreal Phillies game with the final score, Montreal 3 and Philadelphia nothing. Here it's 3-0 Dodgers in the bottom of the 7th. Landreau has just missed a home run. Lopes was out on strikes. So there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. 55,979 here. Pulled foul.
And It will be interesting to see what the pitching matchups will be. Game 1 of the National League Championship Series. And of course, Rogers being used today. Valenzuela last night here. Royce being used today. Depth in the pitching staff will mean an awful lot. The Dodgers certainly have it.
It is low. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Heck, if the Dodgers win, that is if they win, we've got a little ways to go yet, they can bring Hooten as a starter. They can bring Welch out of the bullpen as a starter.
High. And it's ball 3. 3-2. Certainly congratulations to the Montreal Expos who had to battle back after Vukovic's home run beat them yesterday. And the Phillies, certainly congratulations to them. Tremendous battle, but the Expos, the winners in the National League East, and these Dodgers now leading here in the 7th. Trying to battle for the right to play them on Tuesday. And should the Dodgers win, it'll be the Dodgers and the Expos at 4 o'clock. And should Houston win, it'll be Houston and the Expos at 3 o'clock. Pulled foul, and then at 8 o'clock, it'll be the Oakland A's Billy Ball against either Milwaukee or the Yankees, and we'll find that out sometime tonight. Unless George Steinbrenner closes the clubhouse doors.
Oh, Mr. Bluster did it again, didn't he?
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Landreau, as we look at the Dodger bench. Foul back as he battles. Off Nolan Ryan. A walk to Baker, a hit and run single by Garvey was first and third. A single by Monday made it 1-0. Guerrero popped out. Socia, a 2-out single to make it 2-0 to Nair, made it 3-0. Off the leg of Dave Smith, all the way down the third baseline. Landreau digging hard. He'll have himself a double as a fan interfered with the play, so Landreau will stop at second. With Landreau at second base, let's go to Brian Gumbel and gets that last out in that Montreal game.
Okay, Joe, for those fans who may not have seen it, here's the Phil's last gasp in defense of their championship. None on, 2 out, Manny Trio lines 1. Warren Cromartie leaps high to get it, and Steve Rogers has his second win of the 5-game series. Twice the Expos beat Steve Carlson. Joe?
Okay, Brian. It's a wonder with all the games we've had and with all the jumping on each other that somebody hasn't been spiked. Right now we're having Dave Smith, the pitcher, being attended to. That ball was hit right off his ankle. As you can see, they're working on it.
This is line drive off Ken Landreau. That ball landed way in foul territory. Rolled all the way to the left field stands. He is too valuable a pitcher to mess around with. If there's any problem at all, and again, you always think back to Dizzy Dean, line shot, came back too soon, ruined his arm. We'll see it again. Landreau with a vicious line drive off the left ankle, short hopped him, bounded way over past Art Howe into foul territory. He's been too valuable a relief pitcher, Dave Smith, to take a chance with, and Burden is not going to. Smith was the best short relief man that Burden had late in the season.
He's going to make a change, Tony. Dave Smith will have to leave the game. He is in all kinds of pain, as you can see.
The Astros lost Cedeno last night with a severe hamstring pull, and now Don Kiger, the trainer, will escort Dave Smith off. So there'll be a lot of time as the new pitcher will have all he wants to warm up.
So we have a break in the action here with the Dodgers leading 3-0. We'll be right back after these messages. LaCourtney ready. Baker waits, and it's ball 1.
Joe, the pitching staff of the Astros has carried this ball club all year long, and should they pull this game out, it would have to be the pitchers again against Montreal. They need runs.
It's a strike. So we look ahead to the 8th inning for the Astros. It'll be Tony Scott, Howe, and Cruz, 3, 4, and 5 hitter. And that's where you look for your rally. 1 ball and 1 strike on Dusty Baker. Well hit, but pulled foul. That's a foul ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Landreau returns to second base. There's 1 out.
How you doing, Christopher?
Steve Garvey said it'll be a different story when we get back to Dodger Stadium. He's the on-deck man, and it certainly has been so far. These 2 teams, I tell you, as we said, they battled last year. They're battling again. High. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Last year, the Dodgers had to win 3 to force a playoff. They did. The Astros won it in that playoff on a Monday. Coming back here, Dodgers had to win 3. They've won 2, and they lead in this one 3-0. Popped up behind the plate. It'll be out of play.
Well, we've mentioned this number many times during this series, especially here in Dodger Stadium, but the Astros have lost 13 of the last 15 they've played here. Nolan Ryan, today's starter, has never won a ball game in Dodger Stadium. He stands to be the loser if this score holds up. He's 0-5 lifetime in Dodger Stadium. Starts with the Mets, of course, and, of course, the Houston Astros. Ryan this year against the Dodgers, it was 2 wins, no losses.
High fly ball, left center field. Tony Scott moves over, makes the play. Landreau tags up, just fakes the start and heads back. So there are 2 outs. Steve Garvey should get a nice hand from this crowd. Garvey, he got the base hit on the hit-and-run play in the 6th that set it up with a 1st and 3rd situation. Rick Monday then singled to right field to drive in Baker. Garvey stopped at second, and after Guerrero popped to the second baseman, Socia, a big 2-out single to drive in Garvey. And then Russell was safe on air, and the Dodgers had their 3rd run. Left center field, Scott going back near the warning track. They can't get it. Landreau scores 4-0. Here goes Garvey for 3. Listen.
Fernando Valenzuela sure excited this crowd last night, but the first game here, game number 3, coming down 2-0 down to the Astros, coming back. He's the guy who hit the home run to excite him in game number 3.
He certainly did that. They're going to put Monday on. Garvey has been a tremendous hitter, and if there is a most valuable player for a series, at least this one, you'd certainly have to vote for Garvey, who's 7 for 19, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, a .368 average. There's ball 3. It'll be up to Guerrero, who is 0 for 2.
McCarty hung a breaking ball, as we saw the replay on Garvey's triple. A near collision between Cruz and Scott. Short hops the wall. RBI triple. That sun is very bright, just off the edge of the glove of Jose Cruz. Garvey was thinking inside the park home run. He never stopped from home plate all the way to 3rd. Monday will leave the ball game now. Monday leaves, pinch runner at first base. Sort of excited about an intentional walk. Bill Thomas, the pinch runner, he'll go to right field.
Now you see Thomas leading off. He's been going in for defensive purposes as Guerrero takes it inside for ball 1. So Lasorda makes the move. Monday drove in that first Dodger run in the 6th. 4-0 here in the bottom of the 7th.
So that shadow creeping across home plate right now will make that 4-0 lead by the Dodgers look even better as it will get a little harder to hit.
And the Expos beat Philadelphia 3-0. So the Expos are in. Didn't get it. And on Tuesday, it'll either be Houston or the Dodgers for the Expos as the LCS begins. We'll have a big doubleheader on Tuesday. American League, 8 o'clock. Houston at 3 or Los Angeles at 4. Good fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs on Guerrero. Base runners at first and third. Thomas a good runner. Garvey's at third. 2 strikes. Got to watch him. He may try to draw a throw. He holds. Struck him out. Guerrero's out on strikes. That ends the inning. But the Dodgers pick up a run. We complete 7 innings here. The score, Dodgers 4, Astros nothing. And coming up the middle of the lineup, Scott, Howe, and Cruz. Dickie Thon will lead it off for the Astros here in their 9th inning, last chance. It's a strike. Montreal beat the Phillies. They are in the league championship. High hopper, Russell, short hop. Nice play, 1 out. Dodgers 2 outs away from meeting Montreal on Tuesday. 4 o'clock Eastern Time. American League, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Oakland against either Milwaukee or the Yankees. That'll be decided tonight. Ashby batting right-handed. Low, ball 1. Come out the on-deck circle for the Astros. Foul ball, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Deep to left field. Baker's moving back, has room, 2 outs. These fans are on their feet. 1 out away from being the National League East Western Division champions. The East decided today as Montreal beat Philadelphia 3-0. The throw is just barely in time.
a look at that last play. Royce, Dave Roberts, he misses the pitch. It goes off Scioscia's glove. Now watch Roberts. He doesn't run. Scioscia tracks it down, realizes he has to throw him out. Roberts finally starts to run, dives, but it's too late. And the Dodgers win. The final score, 4-0. So the Dodgers are the champions. We'll be back after these messages. Dodgers had to win 3 straight to win it. They did just that. The man who said it was Steve Garvey. Tony Kubek is down along the third base line with a couple happy Dodgers.
Well, more than a couple, Joe. Tommy Lasorda, the manager. Steve Garvey, who got the key hit, a hit-run hit, had a good series. Jerry Royce, congratulations. But first of all, Steve Garvey's going to make a presentation to this man.
Well, it could have been a do-or-die situation for us. It was, and this man just pitched his heart out as he always does. Jerry, the game ball.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Jerry.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, guys. Head away. Head away.
I think the happiest man in that dugout, and I was standing alongside when you threw the last pitch for the last out, was the man that taught you a lot, Sandy Koufax.
We're all thrilled about it, believe me. I don't know how anybody could be any happier than what we were in the field or anything else, but I'm glad that everybody was there, and we came back and we did it.
Tommy, an amazing comeback. You come down, you come back here to Dodger Stadium down by 2, and you said before, it was an easy thing to say, but you had to go out and do it.
Well, I told them Friday in the meeting, I believed that we were going to beat them more than I believed anything in my life. And I said, all I want you guys to do is believe the same thing. They did. They did a great job, and what a victory. And I want to thank God for giving all of us this wonderful opportunity. It was really great.
Thank you, Tommy. Steve, you talked about the 10th man. Most are still here. You turned them on in game number 3 along with Dusty Baker's double and your home run.
I've always said they're the greatest fans in the world, and after last year I said they're our 10th man. And believe me, today when we were battling Nolan, they were the 10th man that inspired us. And my heart goes out to them, and like Tommy said, we thank God.
Jerry, you beat a great pitcher today, Nolan Ryan.
We beat him. I didn't beat him. We beat him. I beat the Astros. Let's remember that.
Jerry Royce, our thanks to you. Congratulations. Good luck for the league championship. Steve, thank you so much for stopping by.
I told you you were going to work 3 more days. I told you, you and Joe were going to be here Sunday.
Joe? Okay, Tony, congratulations. And so it's the Dodgers in Montreal, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, Tuesday, Oakland against somebody. We'll be right back here after these messages. Dodgers defeat Houston 4-0. Our congratulations to Peter O'Malley, Al Campanis, Tom Lasorda. But certainly congratulations to John McMullen, Al Rosen, the general manager, Bill Burton, and his players, the Houston Astros, who battled so hard. 4-0 the final score here. So on Tuesday, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, it's the Dodgers against Montreal, 8 o'clock Oakland against either the Yankees or Milwaukee. Now, due to the length of this game, the Flintstones will not be seen tonight. Boomer will, though. So you Boomer fans, you stay right there. You will see it. So a big ball game here for the Dodgers, who had to win 3 straight, and they did it. Royce is the winner. Ryan is the loser. So keep in mind, this is a playoff to get in the playoff. Tuesday, it'll be the Dodgers against the Montreal Expos, who beat the Phillies 3-0, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, and at 8 o'clock it'll be Oakland against the Yankees or Milwaukee. So for Tony Kubek, Joe Garagiola is saying so long, but it is 4-0 once again. The final score, Dodgers over Houston. Now, NBC's National League Division Series has been brought to you by Lowenbrau. When you want the taste of a truly great beer, there's really only one. Tonight, let it be Lowenbrau. By Ford and your Ford dealer, who invite you to test drive the 1982 Ford cars and trucks. And by Skin Bracer Aftershave, takes care of men who take care of their skin. Skin Bracer by Menon. And by Denorex Shampoo, helps stop dandruff itch with an extra relief medicine, Denorex. Now, we're going to be back with highlights from Bryant Gumbel. We'll have more interviews from here, and we'll do all that right after these messages from your local station. Been a big, big day in sports. The Dodgers beat Houston to clinch it. The Expos defeat the Phillies to clinch it. Plenty of football. Let's go to Bryant Gumbel for a complete report.
All right, Joe, at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, the Phillies' reign as world champions came to an end when Manny Trio lined the final out of the game into the glove of Warren Cromartie. Steve Rogers and the Expos coming back in the 5th and decisive game to beat the Phillies 3-0. Rogers allowing just 6 hits and going the distance for the victory. Meanwhile, out at Chavez Ravine, the Los Angeles Dodgers, once down by 2 games in this series, become the first team to come back from a 2-0 deficit and win the last 3. The final out coming on a strikeout out of Dave Roberts. Mike Scioscia throws him out at first base, and Steve Garvey tells you all you need to know. The Dodgers turn back the Astros 4-0. The matchup in the National League Championship Series is set. It'll be the Los Angeles Dodgers going against the Montreal Expos. And hello again, everyone. Bryant Gumbel welcoming you back to our NBC studios in New York. Indeed, it has been a very busy and productive day on NBC Sports this afternoon. We've had 6 regional games here on NBC that we'll get you the highlights of in just a moment. And you've just seen the Expos and the Dodgers advance on to the LCS, the National League Championship play. And, of course, that'll get started here on NBC this coming week. But let's take you back to the top of the action, starting with the football.